Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into EigenLayer.
EigenLayer.
Yeah, this Ethereum-based protocol that's really got people talking, about the future of decentralized security. Like, how do we make this all even more secure?
Right.
And you send us the sources, we break them down. So we've got articles, we've got research papers, we've even got, like, the spicy takes from Twitter.
Always got to have the spicy take.
Right? You got to see what the people are saying. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're here to, cut through all that noise, figure out what's really going on, and extract the good stuff. The good stuff for you.
The signal and the noise. I like it.
Exactly. That's what we're going for. So EigenLayer, it's like it's building this bridge between all these different projects in the Ethereum ecosystem.
Yeah. It's like, imagine if you could make your staked ETH work harder for you. Like, you're already staking it to secure Ethereum, but what if it could also secure a bunch of other cool dApps at the same time?
Okay, so unpack that a little bit because, for those of us who maybe are just tuning in, EigenLayer lets users restake their staked ETH. And I know what you might be thinking. I'm already staking my ETH.
Right.
Why would I restake it?
Yeah.
But that's where it gets interesting.
It does. Imagine you're a new app developer, right? You need a secure network.
Right.
But building that trust from scratch with your own validators, that's a huge hurdle.
It's a big lift.
Huge.
Yeah.
So EigenLayer, what they're doing is they're letting these new projects tap into Ethereum's existing security. So they don't have to start from zero. They can leverage what's already there.
Gotcha.
It's all about making the most of what's already there.
So instead of every new apartment building hiring its own security guard, EigenLayer is like a shared security service for the entire neighborhood.
Exactly. But instead of guards, we're talking staked ETH, right?
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
Okay.
And this shared security model, it's not just like a cool idea. It could actually lead to a much more robust and secure ecosystem for everyone involved.
Interesting.
And it also means lower costs for developers, potentially even lower gas fees for users like you.
Oh, now you're speaking my language.
Right. Lower gas fees, everybody wins.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, you mentioned restaking.
Yes.
But our sources also talk about this thing called liquid restaking using LSTs. Yes, LSTs.
And this is where it gets maybe a little more technical. What are LSTs?
Yeah, so LSTs.
And how do they fit into all of this?
Liquid staking tokens. They're kind of like, think of it as a receipt from platforms like Lido or Rocket Pool, places where a lot of people stake their ETH already.
Okay.
So you take your ETH, you deposit it with Lido, for example. They give you this LST, which represents your share of that stake ETH.
Okay.
And this LST, it accrues value over time as your ETH earns those sweet, sweet staking rewards.
So it's not just sitting there doing nothing.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's still working for you.
So instead of just like hoarding those LSTs, EigenLayer lets you put them to work again, earning you even more rewards, right?
You got it.
Tell me more.
All right. So imagine this. It's like you're double dipping.
Double dipping.
Okay. Into the world of decentralized security and rewards. So you're earning on your initial stake, and then again by securing these other protocols.
I like the sound of that.
Right.
Sounds pretty good so far, right?
So far, so good.
More security, lower costs,
Mm-hmm.
extra rewards. Like this is like the crypto trifecta, right?
That's what we're all looking for.
It's what we're all looking for. But I'm also seeing in these sources whispers about downsides.
Okay.
Potential risks with this whole restaking thing.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
You're right to be cautious whenever you're talking about, new mechanisms in DeFi. You always want to think about, okay, what could go wrong? What are the possible downsides?
Yeah.
And one of the big concerns here is something called yield risk.
Yield risk.
Because EigenLayer, it works a bit like a marketplace, right? There's a chance that stakers, they might just chase the highest rewards.
Right, of course.
And neglect, maybe, some of the,
yeah,
the important but maybe less profitable protocol.
So like everybody's flocking to the shiniest, most lucrative, dApp over here, but then, these other ones are left vulnerable.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not good for the overall health of the ecosystem.
Right.
We need that security to be distributed well, not just concentrated in a few places.
Okay, that makes sense. What else could go wrong?
Let's talk about centralization.
Okay.
So there's this risk that if too much ETH flows into EigenLayer, it could theoretically create a single point of failure for Ethereum itself.
Okay. So this is something that I keep seeing coming up in these articles. It's like, putting all your eggs in one basket.
It is. It is. Kind of like that.
Even if it's a pretty sturdy basket.
Right.
Guarded by staked ETH. What happens if something goes wrong with that basket?
Exactly. And that's the key question, right?
Yeah.
EigenLayer is designed with security in mind, but any system can have vulnerabilities.
True.
And because it's so interconnected, a significant issue with EigenLayer, it could have these ripple effects.
Oh, wow.
Throughout the entire Ethereum ecosystem.
That's a scary thought.
It is a consideration.
It is, for sure. And let's not forget about just the inherent risks of staking itself, right?
Yeah.
One term I kept seeing that sounds kind of intense is slashing.
Yeah, slashing. It sounds scary.
It does sound
And it is something to be aware of. Because when you stake your ETH, you're essentially vouching for your validator's good behavior.
Okay.
Right? You're saying, hey, I trust this validator to follow the rules, to participate honestly.
Right.
But if your validator misbehaves, like if they go offline for too long or they try to, do something shady, then you risk losing a portion of your stake.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like your validator is getting penalized for not doing their job properly.
Exactly.
And you, the staker, end up paying the fine.
You got it. That's a great way to put it.
Ouch.
And with EigenLayer, you're potentially multiplying this risk, right?
Okay.
Because now your staked ETH could be involved in validating multiple protocols.
So higher potential rewards, but also potentially higher risks as well.
There's always a trade-off.
There's always a trade-off.
Right.
Okay.
Higher risk, higher reward.
Got to think about that. Speaking of, big players.
Yes.
Our sources mention Justin Sun, founder of Tron, right?
Mm-hmm. Big player.
Recently received a massive Eigen Token airdrop.
He did.
It wasn't just, a couple of Eigen tokens.
No. We're talking millions of dollars worth.
Billions.
Of Eigen.
Okay.
And what did he do? Immediately move those tokens to an exchange.
Interesting.
So now everybody's like, what is he doing?
Mm-hmm.
Is he cashing out?
Right.
Is this part of some bigger strategy?
It's like a power move.
It is a power move.
In this high-stakes crypto poker game.
Totally.
And everyone's trying to figure out the tell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that sort of highlights a crucial aspect here of EigenLayer and crypto in general. It's constantly evolving.
Always changing.
You've got these major players making these moves that can, shift the entire landscape.
Yeah.
It's part of what makes this so interesting.
It does keep things spicy.
It does. Keeps you on your toes.
But beyond, the Justin Sun saga, let's say, what's the future for EigenLayer?
Right.
Like, zoom out.
The big picture.
Big picture, yeah. Could this be, the security solution that takes Ethereum to the next level?
I mean, that's the big question.
Right.
That's what everyone's trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And if EigenLayer can deliver on all these promises, the increased security, the lower costs, more innovation, then it really could become this cornerstone of the Ethereum ecosystem.
Yeah.
And even, inspire similar solutions on other blockchains.
Okay, so imagine a world where decentralized security is accessible to any project, no matter how small.
Leveling the playing field.
That's a game changer.
Huge, but it's not, it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
We talked about the risks, the yield risk, the centralization risk.
Right.
Slashing. Those are real concerns. And they need to be addressed. So the next few years can be really interesting for EigenLayer as it kind of matures.
Right.
And adapts to this always changing, crazy crypto landscape.
And we'll be here to break it all down.
Absolutely. We'll
as it happens, as always. But for our listeners, today, what's the takeaway? What should they be thinking about?
I would say keep an eye on EigenLayer. This is not something to ignore. This is a protocol with immense potential, but it's not without its risks. So do your own research, understand the trade-offs.
Right.
And then you can decide if participating in this whole thing aligns with your risk tolerance, your goals.
Perfect. Couldn't have said it better myself. Proceed with caution, but don't be afraid to explore the possibilities.
That's what crypto's all about.
That is what crypto's all about. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious.